Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. I get pictures, videos, emails, okay? And if you would like to do the same, my email is in the description box below, all right? So this first picture that was sent to me was sent by a community member, and she said, too many people don't understand how a digital cashless system will affect our most basic freedoms. Just seems like things are being set up for the future beast system. And this picture that she sent, there's a lot that's on there, so I'm going to read it to you and then I'll put it up, okay? It says, cash is freedom. A cashless society means zero cash. No car boot sale markets, no tooth fairy piggy banks, no saving cash for a rainy day, no tipping the waiter or hairdresser, no giving to the homeless, no giving to musicians, busking musicians, no selling unwanted items for cash, no buying anything with privacy. 100% digital currency means your life is 100% dependent on a power source and the intranet. Yeah. Now, here is an email from a community member, and he said, here is a comment concerning your video on the government possibly banning gas stoves. Right. He said, this reminded me of something my mom used to say. She always worried that the power would go off in the middle of winter. The furnace would not have kicked on since it had an electronic ignition. She said that she would have been able to manually light the kitchen stove to stay warm. It obviously wouldn't have been an ideal situation, but it would have kept her from freezing to death. Is this the real reason why they are taking gas stoves away from us? So we will not have this survival option of a last resort. You know, it's a good possibility, but they are so dead on with our carbon footprint and this and that, and you know, so it could also be that this could be a lot of reasons. Also, you know, when they start to do rolling blackouts and this, that, and the other, and everyone is on electricity and don't have the gas stoves or the propane stoves or the natural gas, and you could still cook with propane or natural gas even if you don't have electricity. Okay, they want us on our knees begging for their mercy. But if we're all on electric, we will be. But if people still have propane or natural gas in their homes, they could still take a hot shower. They could still cook a meal. They could still heat their homes. So there's so many different reasons of why they would want to do this. It's, you know, if you really just sit down and think about it, they're doing this because they want us at their mercy. That's it. Okay, here is an email from a community member, and she said, I thought I would drop you a line and let you know we are all fine. All the flooding is 400 miles south of us. Snow has been falling 20 miles south. We have been missed for the heavy rains and snow, but I got a new toy and it's only 140 years old. Oh, well, gee whiz. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, this community member, she wrote in and she asked a favor of us in our community. She said, I would appreciate it if you would share my GoFundMe page with the community. This is related to my appendix bursting, my diabetes diagnosis, and catching influenza in the hospital. And I know this is all true because I spoke to her personally. She said, as you know, we have a very large family, and to be honest, we live paycheck to paycheck. Our insurance company has already told us our portion will be in the thousands. I have a $2,000 deductible before they will pay anything, and then it's 80/20. When my daughter had elbow surgery, it was $65,000, and she went home a few hours later. I'm panicking over the bills, and we make $4,000 too much to qualify for Medicaid. Yeah. If you make too much every single year, guess what? You are out of luck. I feel you. I really do. All right. The link will be in the description box below for Shelly. Okay. Now, this picture was sent in, and I'm going to read it to you first, okay? And then I will put it in the video for you. It says, Office of State Attorney, Perry County, Illinois, One Public Square, Perry County Courthouse, Pinckney, I know I didn't say that correctly, Illinois. It's a press release, okay? And it says, for immediate release, Perry County State Attorney David H. Searby, Searby Jr., and Perry County Sheriff Chad Howard are jointly announcing their opposition to the legislation contained in the House Bill of 5471, which includes a boomstick ban. I got to be careful with my words, guys. You know this. And registration, and generally infringes on the rights of citizens. House Bill 5471 was passed by the Illinois Senate on January 9th and expected to pass in the Illinois House on January 10th and be signed into law by Governor Pritzker. State Attorneys Searby and Sheriff Howard point out that the ban would involve banning boomsticks that are in common use for any and all lawful purposes, that is inconsistent with decisions of the United States Supreme Court in such cases as District of Columbia versus Heller, Heller, Catano, Caetano versus Massachusetts, and more recently, New York State Pistol and Rifle Association versus Bruin, Bruen. Sheriff Howard stated, a little over a month ago, I took my oath of office as sheriff, and part of that oath was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, including the Second Amendment. The provisions of the House Bill 5471 are clearly in violation of the Second Amendment, and my deputies and I will not be enforcing this unconstitutional law against law-abiding citizens. Once again, we see that those in control in Springfield pass unconstitutional legislation in the waning hours of legislation session in a backdoor method, just like they did with the Safety Act. In this case, it affects Second Amendment rights of all citizens in Illinois, whether in Chicago or Perry County, the state attorney said. And this legislation basically bans objects and property that law-abiding individuals have legally owned for years, and in some instances decades, while allowing them, if you register them with the state of Illinois, the state police. My office will exercise prosecutional discretion in these types of cases. So Searby and Howard want to emphasize that crimes committed with firearms still be investigated, enforced, and prosecuted based on the facts and circumstances of each case. Okay, so here's the picture of what I just read. Okay. This picture was sent in by a community member who lives in California. This happened just a few blocks from her home. The street right behind her is flooded also. This is in Patterson, California. And before I go, this email came in from a community member, and she said, last week our local feed store and mill had a fire. We have a small farm and rely on them for making our specialty feed for our animals. While we are hopeful they would reopen, my husband stopped in on Monday and learned the store part will reopen, but the mill will be closed indefinitely due to the fire damage. They are looking for a new location. They've served our area for 125 years. We had recently stocked up on our alpaca feed, but my husband is searching for another area mill able to make the feed that we need. He purchased chicken feed on Monday from another mill, and it is very different than what our chickens usually get, and it's more expensive. We'll have to try and find another mill for our next purchase. We're very fortunate to still have 3 to 4 mills in this area. Wow. Wow, another fire, huh? Jesus. All right, guys, I'm out of here. All right, you stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.